Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Mrs. Nikmatuniayah, as a lecturer in the research methodology courses and the entire audience I am proud of. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Andini Marsha Aqila, Semarang State Polytechnic student, majoring in accounting, Diploma 3 Accounting Study Program, Class AG3C, who will present the results of the final project proposal with the title Calculation of Cost of Goods Manufactured Using Process Cost Method at the Wingko Babat Pratama Semarang business. Okay, I will explain the points in this presentation. The first is an introduction where I will explain the background of why I chose the research title. The second is the formulation of the problem, whose answer will be solved through this research. Then the research purpose explain why this research was conducted, and then a literature review containing theories relevant to the problem being studied, and the last is research methodology. Introduction. The background to the problem of this research began with the development of the business world, which is getting tighter from year to year, causing increasingly tight business competition on a national and international scale. This intense competition requires entrepreneurs to have a strategy to defend their business. The company's strategy to compete is by selling products that are in line with current developments, paying attention to product quality, and selling prices that are appropriate. In determining the selling price of product, the cost of goods manufactured must be considered so that the company knows the profit from selling the product. Determining the cost of goods manufactured must really pay attention to the three elements of production costs incurred during the production process, namely material costs, labor costs, and overhead costs. Wingko Babat Pratama Semarang is a manufacturing company in the medium business category. Considering that the product produced by the Wingko Babat Pratama Semarang business is a homogeneous product, namely Wingko Babat, and is produced continuously without waiting for orders. A more appropriate method for calculating the cost of goods manufactured is to use the process cost method. However, the company has not classified costs according to the cost grouping in the process cost method, which consists of material costs, labor costs, and factory overhead costs. Based on this background, it is necessary to calculate the cost of goods manufactured using the process cost method in order to produce correct calculation in accordance with accounting theory. Based on the background previously explained, the author identifies formulation of the problem as follows. A. How is the cost of goods manufactured calculated using the process cost method for the Wingko Babat Pratama Semarang business in March 2024? B. How do the calculation results compare between the cost of goods manufactured according to the Wingko Babat Pratama Semarang business and the calculation of the cost of goods manufactured using the process cost method in March 2024? Based on formulation of the problem, the research purpose is to A. Calculate the cost of goods manufactured of Wingko Babat using the process cost method at the Wingko Babat Pratama Semarang business in March 2024. B. Comparing the calculation results between the cost of goods manufactured according to the Wingko Babat Pratama Semarang business with the cost of goods manufactured using the process cost method in March 2024. A review of the literature related to the research to be carried out consists of cost accounting, cost of goods manufactured, method of collecting cost of goods manufactured, characteristic of the cost of the process, cost, and classification of production costs in the process cost method. Cost accounting is the process of identifying, recording, classifying, measuring, and analyzing various elements of direct and indirect costs and presenting them in the form of cost report related to the production process. Meanwhile, the cost of goods manufactured is a collection of production costs consisting of direct raw material, direct labor and factory overhead costs, plus product inventory in initial process minus product inventory in the final process, which can be measured in the units of money in the form of cash paid in order to own the goods and service needed by the company both in the past and in the future. The method of collecting costs of goods manufactured is classified into two methods, namely the order cost method, which is suitable for use by companies that produce based on order. The basic price is collected for each order, and the total production cost of each order will be calculated when the order is completed. Meanwhile, the process cost method is a method where costs are collected for each specific unit of time, for example, month, quarter, semester, or year. This method is usually used for companies whose production processes are continuous and whose products are homogeneous. The aim of production is to fill inventory, which will then be sold to customer. At the cost of goods manufactured, the total cost is calculated at the end of each period by adding up all product cost elements in the unit of time concerned. Characteristic of the cost of the process. First, production costs are collected per production department per accounting period. Second, the product produced is homogeneous and does not depend on specification requested by the customer. Third, production activities is based on production schedule for a certain time unit. Fourth, the purpose of production is to fill inventory, which is then sold. Fifth, production activities are continuous. Sixth, the total cost and unit costs are calculated at the end of each period. 7. Calculation of production per unit by dividing the total production cost incurred during a certain period by the number of product units produced during the relevant period. And the last, factory overhead costs consists of production costs other than raw material costs, auxiliary costs, and labor costs, both direct and indirect. Factory overhead costs are charged based on actual costs incurred. The definition of cost is economic resources sacrificed in order to obtain income or reduce income for certain purposes which can be measured in units of money. Classification of production costs in the process cost method. A. Material costs. Material costs consist of raw materials and auxiliary materials. All costs of material process or parts of finished products, whether identifiable or not identifiable with a particular product, are material costs. B. Labor costs. Direct labor costs and indirect labor costs are not separated. If the product is processed through several departments, all labor costs in the production department are classified as labor costs, while labor costs in supporting department are treated as an element of factory overhead costs. C. Factory overhead costs. Factory overhead costs using the process cost method, which includes all production costs in the production department apart from material costs and labor costs, plus costs in supporting department in the factory. If the company does not have an auxiliary department, factory overhead costs include all elements of production costs other than material and labor costs. This research methodology consists of data classification, data collection method, rating method, and data analysis method. Data classification. Data classification is divided into two, namely types of data by nature and types of data by source. Types of data by nature, there is qualitative data, which is usually data that cannot be measured. In this research, the qualitative data is used as a general description of the company, which includes organizational structure, responsibility of each employee, and the production process at the Wingko Babat Pratama Semarang business. Meanwhile, quantitative data shows absolute figure, which in this research are material costs, labor costs, and factory overhead costs, as well as production data for the Wingko Babat Pratama Semarang business in March 2024. Types of database source is divided into two. Primary data is obtained directly from the source by carrying out measurements, observation, and interviews. In this research, primary data was taken from an explanation of production activities carried out by the Wingko Babat Pratama Semarang business. Meanwhile, secondary data is obtained indirectly from other people. In this research, secondary data was taken from Wingko Babat Pratama Semarang business documents in the form of material costs, labor costs, and factory overhead costs in March 2024. The data collection method used in this research is, first, interviews conducted with business owners by asking questions related to a brief history of the company, the responsibilities of each section, the production process carried out, as well as production costs to calculate the cost of production at Wingko Babat Pratama Semarang business. And the second is documentation is carried out by collecting data by reading documents relating to production data, material costs, labor costs, factory overhead costs, and the Wingko Babat production process. And the third is observation were made by viewing and observing the production process directly at the production house of the Wingko Babat Pratama Semarang business. Writing method. The writing method used is the description and exposition method. The description method used by the author is to present a general overview of the company, the duties of each section, and the production process. The exposition method is used to explain the comparison of the calculation of the cost of goods manufactured with the process cost method, with the calculation carried out at the Wingko Babat Pratama Semarang business. Data analysis method. The data analysis method will be carried out by A. Collect production data on the Wingko Babat Pratama Semarang business in making Wingko Babat in March 2024. B. Classify costs according to the cost classification in the process cost method. C. Calculate the cost of goods manufactured of Wingko Babat using the process cost method. D. Compare the calculation of the cost of goods manufactured carried out by the company with calculation using the process cost method. And the last is provide conclusion on the results of the comparison between the company's calculation and calculation according to the process cost method. Writing systematic. This writing systematic is used to provide an outline of the preparation of this final project. The writing systematic are as follows: introduction, literature review, research method, result and discussion, and closing. Okay, that's all I can explain regarding the final project proposal with title Calculation of Cost of Goods Manufactured using Process Cost Method at the Wingko Babat Pratama Semarang business. I would like to thank Mrs. Nikmatuniaya, who has provided knowledge in preparing the proposal. Thank you for all your attention. I really appreciate all the feedback you give to me. Hopefully, this presentation can be useful for anyone. Thank you very much, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.